Alright folks, from San Diego, welcome to Mira Mesa Lanes. This is the title matches of today's Junior Bowlers Tour Tournament. We're going to begin in the scratch division. This is Mark Myers. He has climbed the ladder to get to this point, bowling on the brutal PBA Tournament of Champions lane condition. And no balance required as Myers comes out and slams 10 in the pit on his first shot. Be interesting to see what happens here as Mark has felt that 42 was the much tougher lane, and top seed Travis Hewitt has allowed him to not finish on that lane. So we'll see how that plays into the match later. Mark's beat in order: Riley Dempsey, Wesley Lowe, and Deron Booker to get to this title match here. Travis has been your top seeds since game 4 of the tournament. Was the only bowler to be averaging over 200 at a time. As it finished, no bowler averaged over 200 on the day. Travis was your top qualifier at plus 93 when you added in the bonus spin. So yeah, I guess he averaged 200.66 or something like that.
Thank you very much.
4-7-10 for Myers here. Strikes were hard to come by, and leaving makeable spares when you didn't strike were even hard to come by, as the cut was minus 163 for 5 games. That's an under 170 average. TSC pattern is 50 feet long. It's the longest in length pattern you're ever going to see, but it's also a pretty short volume. So you're going to see balls check up a little early and then stop hooking about 40 feet down the lane as they hit the back end. Even a two-hander like Myers covering very few boards. Travis, a more conventional style, covering virtually no boards and kind of doing a backup fade into the pocket. The reason you're seeing him cut off his follow-through right now is that his arm is cramping up. He was cramping during practice. He was literally banging his arm trying to get the ball trying to get his arm to uncramp during practice. He's obviously still in a lot of pain there. That's what he's doing right there with his arm. We'll see if he can fight through the pain. He's got an early lead. It's going to be interesting to see. We've seen some cramps before in JBT history. JD Nance and Stephen Black played a title match once in New Mexico where JD could barely finish. His arm was cramping so badly, and you can see he's in a ton of pain right now. Oh my goodness. Ow. Really hurts. Tough to see right here. There's really not a lot of room for medical timeouts. We will give him a minute or so, and it's kind of up to his opponent to be a little courteous on them. But cramps are like that, where you just kind of got to work it out, and it either will or it won't. Tough spot here for Hewitt. We'll see how it plays out. We got a full control room of guest commentators here. We got Patrick Smith and Riley and anybody named Acuff, and they're going to take you through a little bit of this as handicap finishes up. So we'll see if Travis can recover from the cramp and where we go from here. Gentlemen.
Yay! How we doing, folks? We got P. Smith and R. Demp and D. Acuff over here. We bowled on a 50-foot TOC pattern today that was really hard. It was like ice.
I've never seen anything not hook so much, and then I swear to you, after qualifying, I go outside and make a phone call. I think they stripped the lanes while I was outside, because when we came back for match play, I've never seen something hook in their head so much in my life.
The first 5 games, if you didn't have a ball at like 220, you never got anything to wiggle, or if you were two-handed, everything tipped out the building.
And the last game, if you were me, or the match play, if you were me and you hit the pocket, you left 5-10s because the ball stood up at my toes and rolled.
Now they're pretty roasty toasty. You see Porter with a lot of ball speed.
You can watch Mark's ball standing up at like 3 feet and just rolling all the way to the pin deck. This is ridiculous.
There's very little head oil left. Pretty hard to get your ball to push through the heads and then actually return in the back with all the carry down. With the 50 feet, it was really tough today.
Travis actually was intentionally rolling the ball out all day long.
Travis had a good look around, probably 15 or 16 to 13 or 14 at his break point, just a really big fade, and it was tough to get the corners out today too, and Travis did a really good job doing that. Derek will inform you on how the left side was today. Impossible. Okay, guys.
The left side actually hooked to start, not like
no,
the
it
right
didn't.
side.
The left side to start, the gutter never hooked, ever. If it hit the gutter, it was basically free. You have to play up around 12, 13. But as the day went on, you got to the higher end, you actually could get on the gutter and make some good shots.
Travis shakes out the 7-pin with a light hit. You can see his forearm still giving him trouble. As he warms up, it seems to be loosening up just a little bit. He said before the match that his forearm was cramping up, and it does seem to be having an effect on the way he's throwing the ball right now. He's throwing it a lot faster, and it looks like he's not quite, he's around it the same amount as he was qualifying, but he doesn't have quite the rev rate that he did to start today. Mark Myers stepping up on the right lane. Looks like he's throwing a rain. He's throwing a rain on the right lane. Playing around third arrow out to 10, and the ringing 10-pin doesn't quite go down. Still shaking as the rack picks it up.
He's had a lot of trouble with this lane throughout step ladder.
Riley Dempsey talking to Larry Smith over there and not paying any attention to the commentating he meant to do.
Sorry, guys. We got some mozzarella sticks and ketchup over here. Cheese sticks, whatever they are. Some ketchup.
Quarter on the spare.
It's Travis leading after 5.
Yeah. It's kind of hard not to cover your spare when your spare ball goes that straight because it doesn't have anything left after 5 feet. Even the spare balls are standing up at our toes today.
We actually watched James Hawkins play up 10 with his Maxim when I bowled him in match play today. It was pretty insane. Good shot.
Porter made a ball change on that left lane and it runs up just a little bit tight for a 4-9. It's definitely a long, grueling day. I can't wait to get back to the hotel room, take a shower, and get to sleep.
And then bowl on house tomorrow.
I'm really excited about that. Porter on the very exciting cover on the 4-9.
It's a good spare from
Mark Myers, always the most Emotional player on the JBT tour.
He lives and dies on every single shot. Let's go. Thanks, guys.
As you can see, Travis Hewitt sporting the picnic shorts today.
The bigger problem right now is that Travis is telling me he can barely get the ball off his arm right now, if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
He was talking to me that he wasn't even sure he's going to be able to finish the game, which is interesting given that he's in the lead right now. If Mark hadn't made that 4-9, he's even more in the lead, so it's an unusual spot. JD and Steven years ago played a match, just the forearm was cramped. Bad thing, obviously.
Travis with the cover despite the pain.
It's amazing what he's doing. Actually, even like have more than 50 in the 5th right now. 95 in the 5th was good. He felt perfectly healthy today. That was phenomenal.
Scoring pace was just a little low. I think everybody knew scoring pace was going to be low, though. Finding out it was the TOC, I knew I was going to be content at -50, and that's exactly what I ended up at, and I was happy with it. What were you at after 5?
108.
Wow. What were you at?
176.
Oh, you just missed?
Yeah, I missed
They were tough.
That's like 5. What was cut today?
166.
Travis was the leader, and even he was minus. I'm not sure how far he was minus. 2,700 looks like after, and he was the leader.
He shot 160.
A great shot right there, by the way. It looked a little more comfortable, that ball. No? It was all a fake.
I think both of these bowlers actually have a tie for high game on the day. Both bowlers shot 244 today. Mark shot it the first game and Travis the second game. And I think those were the highest games.
I'm sure they were.
West shot 266.
In match play.
Yeah, 266.
Wesley seemed to have a decent look once they dried up, but for whatever reason, couldn't.
He was throwing a mission. Wesley was actually playing a part of the lane where you shouldn't have been playing today. It was actually starting around 10 or 11 today during qualifying, but then when he bowled Mark, he was actually on the gutter, like 1, 2, 3 on the gutter with a mission where if anybody was out there, we were picking off 3 off to the right all day long, and somehow the small little lefty got everything to tip from out there. Which makes no sense.
I couldn't get anything to come back. When your ball speed very rarely reaches the double digits, I don't think it's too hard to get the ball to hook. Wesley throwing a 13-pound prodigy, and I think Wesley might weigh 13 pounds soaking wet.
Whose is this?
I don't know. There's a mystery soda here in the booth. We're not sure whose it is. It's probably Becky. As you can see, he likes to refresh himself. Refresh during the color commentary.
Big shot from Mark here. Get him
Good
back
shot.
Wow.
As he takes out the 4.57.
It's a good shot. Let's go. As for as hard as it was to get to the hole today, to the 1-3, it was even harder to get the corners to fall with the 50 feet. Really hard to get the 10s out. You know, smack the corners. Yeah.
Today, any shot that hit the 1-3 pocket was considered a good shot.
It was a great shot. Travis leads by 2, strike work.
As you can see, Travis is missing it a little bit at the bottom because of that forearm issue he's having. His forearm, I don't know if you can tell or not, his forearm is bright cherry red from where he was rubbing it before the match started, trying to get it.
He was pounding it before the match. It's so painful. It's so painful to watch, let alone actually.
It really is.
After Mark's double and Travis with the strike opens 7-8.
It's a 9-pin deficit for Hewitt.
This 9th and 10th is going to be very close. Mark with the slight advantage since he's on a double.
You know, the decision between the reality of how much pain you're in and just the fact that you're top seed in a bowling tournament. Somehow find a way to dig out 2 frames here. Oh dear. Oh
that looks like it'll probably be the ender for him. Unfortunately, he's in a lot of pain. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue.
It's good.
Travis has left the view screen, but he hasn't left the bowler's area. He's actually, as you can see, sitting on the floor down there talking to Mr. Hemer, probably discussing whether or not to finish to continue the match, despite the fact that it seems as though the match has already been decided.
We should find one of these for you. If you can, come down. They're at 90, like outlet stores.
Hopefully Travis is capable of finish. It looks like he's picking the ball up off the rack. I say we give Travis a round of applause as he gets back on the field with the injury. Despite what you're seeing here on camera, Travis really has been throwing the ball great all day. One of the very few people whose form didn't change despite how the pattern was playing. A lot of people trying to hit it harder lost a lot of their balance, lost a lot of their form, and Travis, one of the very few who didn't have that problem today, was still very smooth with it. Myers narrowly avoids a split. That really wouldn't have been too disastrous at this point.
That is indeed a 6-man.
Take it in the appropriate context, but I hope Myers has 181 in the tank before Travis bowls again, because I don't even want to see him throw another ball right now.
Hey, Jeff, you say end it for like 15 minutes?
Is that? Yeah, what do you have?
It's at 14 right now.
What's it right now? Shoot. Hurry up, Mark.
Mark, pull faster.
Is the angle better? Right?
Yeah.
With 9 out here, he'd be at 180. So if he strikes, this is going to be a very quick end of this video. And
One time for Porter.
This will be it. And that is game, ladies and gentlemen.
thank goodness that's going to be a travel, but I want to once again point out the courage of this guy. I mean, bowling's not the most physical sport in the world, but it is a sport, and something like that will make that quite literally painfully obvious. And hats off to Travis for a good day. But hey, Mark Myers climbing the ladder for another JBT title. We'll
P.
talk to you
Smith,
again.
R. Dempf, and
I'm
D.
related to him.
Gentlemen, thank
My
you.
cousin.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Very good. In case you're wondering who's babbling, there they are. Thank you very much. Congrats to Mark and Travis. We'll be right back with handicap action. Look for that on YouTube as well.